morning. I'm going to give YouTube a second because it likes to lag. So today is August the 31st. It is the last day of August in the year 2026. Now, I don't know if you stopped long enough to feel what that actually means, but I want to give you a minute to do that right now before we do anything else. Baby, summer is over. Not officially on the calendar, right? But in the way that matters, the energy has shifted for sure. September is tomorrow, just knocking on the door. And something about that landing on a Monday, the last day of a season falling on the day people already have the hardest time with. It just felt like something we needed to address together this morning. So I'm Renisha. This is the Healing Suite. Welcome back to your Monday morning reset. This is episode 11. I want you to get comfortable. This one is going to require you to actually be present with yourself. So get settled, drop your shoulders down, and stay with me. So I want to ask you something, and I want you to sit with this honestly. How do you feel about the fact that summer is over? I don't want the casual answer that you would just give somebody who doesn't really care. I want the real one, the one that surfaced for just a second this morning before you pushed it back down and started your day. Because I think for a lot of women, and I mean the kind of women who listen to something like this on a Monday morning, there is a quiet grief sitting underneath the surface today. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, it's just this low hum of something that feels a little like disappointment, a little like loss, a little like, man, another season came and went, and something you were hoping for would shift didn't. Maybe you had plans for this summer that never happened. Good morning, sweetie. Maybe you have plans for this summer that never happened. Maybe you anticipated getting this rest that never came, and a version of yourself you were going to step into, you haven't quite reached it yet. Maybe there was a relationship you thought would look very different by now. It could have been a level in your business, your healing, your life that you were sure you'd be at before September. And here it is, September. It's tomorrow. And you're still here in what feels like the same place. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. And I want to be really careful with how I say this next part because I don't want to minimize it or rush past it. That feeling is real. That grief is valid. And you're allowed to feel it without immediately pivoting to gratitude, without immediately reframing it into another lesson, and without performing okayness about a season that genuinely didn't go the way you needed it to. I want to give you a framework for what you're feeling today, because I think naming it changes how you carry it. So what you're experiencing, that quiet heaviness at the end of a season, is something I called seasonal grief. Good morning, TS. It's something I call seasonal grief, and it is one of the most overlooked emotional experiences that high functioning women go through. So here's what happens. Every new season, thank you for hitting the like button. Every new season carries with it a set of these invisible promises. We don't always articulate them out loud, but they're there. Summer quietly promises lightness, rest, possibility, a chance to breathe and catch up with yourself. And when a season ends and those promises feel unkept, when you arrive at the other side of it and you're still tired, still stuck, still carrying the same weight, There is a loss in that. Happy Monday. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for hitting the like button. So it may not be this catastrophic loss, but it's still a real loss. And here's what makes it complicated for women like you. You are so practiced at pushing through, so trained to just keep going, so conditioned to look at loss and find the silver lining before you're even allowed to feel the loss for yourself, that this kind of grief, it just slides right on past your awareness. It doesn't get one moment. It just becomes a low hum underneath everything else, a heaviness that you quite can't explain, and a flatness that makes the start of a new season feel heavier than it should. And then September comes, and everyone around you is talking about fresh starts and new energy and fall aesthetics, and you're standing there thinking, I don't feel any of that. So now you're wondering what's wrong with you. Thank you for hitting the like button. Nothing is wrong with you. You just haven't grieved the summer yet. And you can't fully enter a new season when you're still quietly mourning the one that just ended. Let me say that again because that's for somebody. You can't fully enter a new season when you are still quietly mourning the one that just ended. So I want to say something to the woman who has been doing the work this year. You've been reading the books, you're listening to the podcast, you're showing up to the resets, you're praying, you're journaling, you are trying, and it still feels like you're standing in the same spot. Happy birthday, Dixon. Happiest of birthdays. I pray that you get everything you want. Happy birthday, Dixon. It still feels like you're standing in the same spot. I see you, and I want to tell you something that I mean with everything in me. Feeling stuck is not the same as being stuck. Feeling stuck is a perception. It's what happens when you are in the middle of a process that is too close to see clearly. When you are so deep inside your own growth that you cannot get the aerial view. When the change is happening at a level underneath what's visible yet. But being stuck is a completely different thing. Being stuck means nothing is moving, nothing is shifting, nothing is working. And the fact that you are still here, you're still showing up on a Monday morning at the end of a hard season is evidence that you are not stuck. Somebody drop it in the chat. If you're watching the replay, drop it in the comments below. I am not stuck. You are in a process, and process is uncomfortable and slow, and it does not feel like progress from the inside of it. If we're being honest, nobody likes process. Nobody. We want the end result, period. We don't like going through processes, but it is what it is. So I need you to hold on to that today. I'm not trying to get you to bypass the grief. Grieve this summer if you need to grieve this summer. Let it have its moment. But don't let that grief convince you that nothing is moving, because something is, even when you can't see it. So I'm going to do something with you right now that may feel a little unfamiliar. We're going to give the grief a moment today on purpose instead of pushing past it. So I want you to take a deep breath in slowly through your nose. As you hold it, I want you to think about one thing, just one, that you were hoping this summer would bring that it didn't. One expectation, one hope, one version of yourself, or your life that you were reaching for that still feels out of reach. Hold it in your mind. Now I want you to breathe out slowly through your mouth. And as you breathe out, I want you to let that specific hope be acknowledged. You don't have to release it forever. You don't have to surrender it. I just want you to see it. Let it know. Listen, I know you're there. I see what I was hoping for. And I'm giving it a moment instead of pretending It doesn't exist. Again, breathe in through your nose, hold it, name it quietly to yourself, and breathe out. Let it be seen. One more time, breathe in through your nose, hold it, and out. You just did something, excuse me, you just did something that most people never do. You acknowledged the grief instead of just bypassing it. And that acknowledgement, that simple act of saying, I see this, I feel this, I'm not pretending it's not here, that is actually what creates a space for something new to come in. You cannot fill a space that you haven't cleared, and you cannot clear it by pretending it's not full. Now, I want to do something with that space you just created. September is tomorrow, a new month, a new season, and I don't want you to drag the weight of an unprocessed summer into it. Not because the grief doesn't deserve more time, it might, but because you deserve to enter this season with at least a little bit of intention instead of just momentum carrying you forward. So I want to ask you one question and I want you to sit with it. What do you want September to feel like? Not what do you want to accomplish? That's not what I'm asking. Not what's on your fall to do list. How do you want to feel moving through the month of September? Think of one word, one feeling. Take a breath in and let that word surface. Now breathe out. I want you to hold on to that word, write it down when you get a chance, and put it somewhere you'll see it. You can stick it on a post-it at your office, in your cubicle, put it on your mirror, in your bathroom, wherever. But I want you to see that one word every day because that word is going to be your compass for this season. When you're making decisions in September about your time, your energy, your yeses, and your nos, that word is going to be your filter. Does this take me toward that feeling or away from it? That's it. That's the whole framework for fall. So it's been 11 Monday mornings. We started this series in the middle of summer and we are closing it out on the last day of August. And I just want to say, whatever this summer was for you, you made it through. You showed up this morning on the last Monday of the season to do something kind for yourself before the new one starts. That is not a small thing. That is actually everything. So I want you to go into September gently with your one word, with a little more grace for yourself than you gave yourself this summer. Hello. With the understanding that feeling stuck and being stuck are two completely different things. And if you are ready to go into a new season with actual support underneath, if you're tired of doing this work alone and you want to be in a real space with women who get it, everything I offer, well, not everything I offer, but you can click the link in the description. You can sign up for my Be Her experience. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, just send me a DM. YouTube has DMs now. All right. So whatever season you're in, there is something in the healing suite for you. Do me a favor, drop a white heart in the comments, and I want you to drop your one word for September down below. The feeling you're going into this season with. I want to see it. I read every single comment. I love y'all so much. Happy last day of August. Go into your Monday knowing that tomorrow is a new page, and this time you're going to write it on purpose.